Should you buy or sell your home first? This is a question I get all the time, and the answer is pretty simple. You should always, whoa, not so fast. If you want to hear the answer, you're going to have to stick around till the end of the video to find out. What's going on, guys? Alex Dunbar with RE/MAX Treeland Realty and the Dunbar Real Estate Group based out of the Surrey and Langley areas. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you whether you should be buying or selling your home first. But before we get started, if you like videos just like this one, I'll ask that you hit the like button so the algorithm can push it out to more people looking for information just like you. I make weekly videos on topics relevant to the real estate market here in BC and showcase communities across Surrey, Langley, and the rest of the Lower Mainland. So if that's something you're interested in seeing more of, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. So to start it off, let's address the common fear on either side of the coin. Most people are scared of selling first because if by the time they're supposed to move out of their home they haven't found a new one, they're scared of being homeless. Looking at the other side of things, people are scared of buying before they sell because what if they're not able to sell or they can't get the number they were expecting? So there's definitely a risk on either side no matter what you choose, but let's go over the pros and cons of each. Starting off, let's look at some reasons why you should buy before you sell. Reason number one, you can lock in an interest rate. Interest rates are extremely low right now, and typically your mortgage broker can lock you in for up to 90 to 120 days. It's important to note in this situation though, you have to have a completion date within that 3 to 4 month range and not just an accepted offer by that time. So as long as you're able to do that, the big benefit here is obviously locking in that extremely low rate and getting lower monthly mortgage payments. Reason number two, it gives you some more room financially. One of the risks of buying before selling is that your home won't sell in time when you do put it on the market. Or you'll have to use bridge financing if your dates don't line up on the purchase and sale. But if you feel like you can afford that potential bridge and you're comfortable with paying 2 mortgages at the same time, then buying before selling might be the best option for you. Reason number 3. Your current home is in high demand and it's going to sell quick. So this ties into our last point and minimizes the risk there. So if you're in a hot market, especially in regards to your property type, and homes are selling quick, your home's likely to do the same. And in a market with low inventory, this is going to be even more apparent. Reason number 4, the type of home you want is also in high demand with low inventory and you're scared of not being able to get it after you sell. In most of the bigger markets, especially the Greater Vancouver region, if the type of home that you're looking for is in high demand and low inventory, you're more than likely going to find yourself in a multiple offer situation. So if you do choose to buy before selling, you're probably going to find yourself in this situation more than once, but you don't have to be worried about losing out because you're always going to have another opportunity. And at the end of the day, you're always still going to have a roof over your head. Reason number 5, you need a large property selection. If you're one of those pickier buyers, this one's for you. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. This is where you're going to be planting your life for the next several years. So making sure it's a perfect spot for you, as long as your expectations are realistic, is the most important thing. And number 6, you plan on renovating your new home significantly. So if you're planning on doing major renovations, something you're going to want to think about is whether you want to be living in the home at that point in time or whether you'd like to get those renovations out of the way prior to moving in. If you've ever lived through a major renovation, you know it can become an absolute war zone. So if you don't want to live with the constant headache of unfinished renovations and ongoing work, it may be a better idea to buy first, do the renovations while the home's still vacant, and then move in afterwards. Moving on, let's look at some of the reasons why it may be better to sell before you buy. Reason number 1, you already know the exact dates that you need to buy and move in on because you've already sold your property. So because you already know your completion and possession dates, you're able to write these into contracts when you're offering to purchase other people's homes. This is going to help you eliminate or reduce the chance that you're going to have to take on bridge financing. So at the end of the day, it's more than likely going to save you money. Reason number 2, you have a legitimate budget and it's not just a guess based on what your home might sell for. So because your property is under contract and you already have an agreed upon price, you know exactly what the proceeds from your sale are going to be that you're able to put towards your purchase. If you had bought before you sold, what you're really doing is making an educated guess on where your property should likely sell, however you don't know that actual final number until the sale has gone through. So obviously this poses a risk. This gives you the ability to be more confident when you're writing offers and not feel like you're stretching yourself too thin, and additionally you can potentially write without a subject to financing because you know the situation. Reason number 3, you have alternative or backup plans for another living situation. So what I mean by this is if you don't end up purchasing and lining your dates up with the sale of your home, you have somewhere else to go, whether it's friends, family, a short-term rental, or something else of that nature. This ensures that even though your house has been sold, you don't have to worry about ending up homeless. With that being said, your realtor can definitely try to negotiate a longer closing date for you. However, for some people, it's not solely about price, but it's about those dates as well. Reason number 4, your property is in high demand with low supply, but the property you're trying to purchase is the exact opposite. This means that if there's very few homes just like yours on the market, but there's extremely high demand for it, it's probably going to sell quick and for top dollar. So the only certainty you really have is what's going on in the market exactly at this point in time. Let's say you're selling a detached home in a highly desirable community with very few other homes similar to yours on the market at this point in time, but you're moving into a market, maybe out of town, maybe you're downsizing, and there's more inventory on the market, more options to choose from, and you're not going to feel so pressured or stressed to get into the market there. This is just one example, but there's many situations where this may work out best for you. And lastly, point number 5, you avoid the stress of selling your home and having to pay 2 mortgages. So when you sell first, you know you've already sold, which in turn means you're not going to have to pay 2 mortgages at the same time. So if you don't have the financials or the risk tolerance in order to take on 2 mortgages, then selling first is probably best for you. So at the end of the day, there's several factors that you need to take into account before making a decision. You need to look at the current situation of the market, your risk tolerance, and if you have any sort of backup plans in place. In an extremely hot market like we're in right now, I'd advise that most people probably buy before they sell. The reason being is if you're to sell first and you go out and try to buy and it ends up taking you a couple of months, you're going to be chasing the market upwards. And with prices moving the way they are right now, they're changing on a weekly basis. And in most cases, you have a pretty good idea of how much your home is going to sell for and that it will sell in under a week. Now, you're obviously not going to be able to predict an exact number, but you should have a pretty good idea of the range that it'll sell for. But this means that you're also going to have to leave yourself some buffer room when you're writing offers. What this number will be depends on your unique situation, but from my experience, you should probably be leaving yourself at least $50,000 or $100,000. Now, we know the market's not always going to be this hot, so let's look at the flip side of the coin. In a buyer's market where there's more homes on the market to choose from and typically a bit more negotiation room, and prices can often be falling at the same time, this is when it would likely make sense. Think about it this way. If you're able to sell your home first, you're probably going to get top dollar, especially if prices are trending downwards. Now, because there is a larger number of homes on the market, you can expect that you're probably not going to have to compete in most situations, and you can be certain that there's going to be something out there for you. Because your home's already been sold, you know exactly what you have to work with, and you can have more confidence going out into a market where you don't expect to compete because there are more homes available. In a slower market, it's common that homes take 30, 60, or even 90 or more days to sell. So if you've already purchased a home and have your date set, then you're running into the situation where you're worried about your home not selling prior to completing on the other deal. This comes with its own inherent risks, and it's something you need to take into account. But again, it all comes down to your unique situation. Some people are going to be more comfortable selling before buying, even though I would suggest they do the opposite, and vice versa in a market opposite to what we're in right now. So to sum it all up, it really depends. So that's about going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, all I'll ask is that you hit that like button, and if you want to see more real estate videos just like this one on a weekly basis, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications in the future. And if you are interested in having a chat with me about your unique situation and what options you may have, you can scroll down and hit the first link, book a call with me at the day and time that works for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.